The year is 2022 AD. Gaul is entirely occupied by international yeast producers. Well, not entirely. A few indomitable Helvetians very close to Lake Constance got together as early as 1902 to help each other and started producing fresh baker's yeast as a result of the new alcohol law. In the yeast market, dominated by a few large multinational companies, Hefe Schweiz AG has been standing its ground as an independent yeast producer and produces 5,200 tons of compressed yeast per year. The Swiss yeast market is mature. In addition to the high wages and generally higher manufacturing and raw material costs compared to the neighboring countries, unilateral import duties by the EU lead to an additional price increase in the export business of liquid yeast. But Hefe Schweiz has a magic potion that strengthens from the bottom up. Organic yeast. The yeast from Stedford was launched as the first organic yeast based on sugar beet molasses in 2004. The company's own springs bubble up. Their water is treated and flows directly into the factory. The liquid yeast is filtered, pressed and packed in the middle of sugar beet fields in Stedford. But the yeast is not only filtered and packed at the plant in Thurgau. It is also fermented there. And that is what makes Hefe Schweiz AG unique. This is because it is now the only yeast producer in Switzerland that produces everything from inoculation with its own yeast breed through various fermentation stages to the yeast cube. The entire value chain is produced with predominantly local Swiss raw materials. And so they do not cease to carry on the 120-year-old tradition to develop it further and also to assert themselves in the export business. Also in the 120 years to come.